The arrival of a baby is a moment of great anticipation and joy for many families. It symbolizes the safety and love that can only be found within the walls of a home. However, what if that very home becomes the setting for a family's worst nightmare? In the city of Huixquilucan, Mexico, in July 2005, a beautiful child was born. This child, named Paulette Gebara, brought immense happiness to her parents, Mauricio Gebara and Lizette Farah, as well as to her older sister, Lizette, who was just a few years older. From the moment Paulette entered the world, her family knew that she would require special care due to her unique needs. However, this was never a concern for them, especially when it came to financial matters. Their comfortable economic situation allowed them to provide everything that Paulette needed, including 2 dedicated nannies who would ensure her happiness and well-being. On the fateful Sunday night of March 21, 2010, Mauricio and his daughters Lizette and Paulette returned home, where their mother Lizette eagerly awaited their arrival. Although she had not accompanied them on the trip due to a prior commitment with a friend, Lizette wanted to be there to welcome them back. She lovingly put the children to bed, and the night ended like any other. However, the following morning of March 22 brought an unexpected turn of events. Erica, one of the nannies, entered Paulette's room to wake her up for school, only to discover that the little girl was nowhere to be found. It seemed highly unlikely that Paulette could have wandered off within the house on her own, considering her limited physical abilities. The situation was dire. Erica informed Lizette, Paulette's mother, who in turn relayed the devastating news to her husband, Mauricio. The Gebara couple remained calm and rational when they received the news. The police immediately suspected a kidnapping, but no signs of forced entry or indication of a crime were found. When the police began to investigate the disappearance, they brought dogs to the house that were trained to smell Paulette on her clothes and toys and trace a possible route she may have taken after her disappearance, but the dogs not only they didn't take the investigators anywhere, nor did they smell her, dead or alive, in any corner of the house. It quickly became evident that the sisters Erica and Martha Cassie Miro had no involvement in the disappearance of the girl. Firstly, they had a very limited time frame between Sunday night and Monday morning to execute any kind of escape plan with a special needs child. Additionally, they had no motive to do so. Rumors circulated in the city about the Gebara couple facing marital and financial issues. The case quickly gained widespread attention, making headlines in newspapers both nationally and internationally. Days went by, and there was still no trace of Paulette. The family appeared on television, giving interviews and showcasing the little girl's room, toys, and clothes, in an attempt to appeal to the alleged criminals and encourage them to return her. However, no phone calls were received and no letters were sent. Lizette, the mother, found herself in a state of desperation and grief as her daughter remained missing. The weight of the situation caused her to give interviews that seemed nonsensical, perhaps due to the overwhelming thoughts running through her mind. In front of the cameras, she even mentioned the possibility of her daughter being abducted by aliens. The tension within the family grew, and the mystery surrounding Paulette's disappearance seemed unsolvable. On March 31, the unimaginable truth was revealed. Paulette's lifeless body was discovered in her own bedroom, hidden between the bed and the mattress. In the leaked video of investigators, one voice is heard saying that there's no way it was an accident whilst examining the stained sheets. However, this statement was almost immediately refuted by General Attorney Baz. Paulette passed due to mechanical asphyxia due to obstruction of the nasal cavities and thorax-abdominal compression. Due to her small size and the fact that she wore a respirator at night, it was speculated that she may have moved, gotten tangled in the wires of the device, and fallen between the mattress and the bed. While this would have been quite strange things happen all the time. However, the injuries on Paulette's body did not match those that would have occurred from asphyxiation if that had been the case. It is possible that an accident occurred during the night and she was unable to move and return to bed due to her motor and speech difficulties. She couldn't scream for help. However, the natural decomposition of her body would have caused an unbearable odor, which couldn't be masked by a tangle of blankets. The mystery took a more dramatic turn when the authorities discovered inconsistencies in the statements given by Mauricio and Lizette. Many of their statements did not align with those of the nannies. Paulette was found wearing blue and red pajamas, the same pajamas shown by her mother 4 days earlier during a television interview. When questioned about them, Lisette Farah said that the pajamas belonged to Paulette's sister, but for some unexplained reason they were stored among the girl's things and were shown by the mother as Paulette's. The authorities were never informed by the family that they had a second pair of pajamas identical to the ones the girl was wearing at the time of her disappearance. From the moment the body was found, the supposed second pair of pajamas was never seen again. The investigation concluded as an accidental passing, and one of the prosecutors responsible for the case, Alberto Bazbaz, who was a friend of the family, became known throughout the country after the news that he had resigned from his position as prosecutor shortly after the closure of this investigation. From then on, it was all downhill for the girl's parents, who began to incriminate themselves. Mauricio, for example, stated that he was sure that his daughter did not pass in an accident, implying, without mentioning names, that his wife was involved. On April 6, Paulette was buried at the Panteón Francis de San Joaquin in Mexico City. The funeral procession was led by Lisette Farah without any member of Mauricio Gebara's family being present due to an agreement. 7 years later, on May 3, 2017, Paulette's body was exhumed and cremated, as the authorities considered that her remains were no longer objects of evidence for the investigation of the case.